Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special edition of Bedtime Stories that you can listen to anytime. Um, this is our holiday edition. So, tonight I'll be focusing on some Hanukkah stories with other just holiday cheerful stories thrown in. I hope you enjoy them. So, settle in and to your own private story time and enjoy. Just enjoy. Our first book tonight is Hanukkah Bear by Eric A. Kimmel. This particular book is illustrated by Mike Wanutka, but Eric Kimmel wrote this story, The Hanukkah Bear, and it's been illustrated by other people. So it's one of my very favorite Hanukkah stories. I love it, and I think you're going to enjoy it too. Hanukkah Bear. Old Bear awoke from his winter sleep. He poked his nose outside his den. What was that? Something to eat. Old Bear's empty stomach rumbled. He shook himself all over, then lumbered out of his den to follow the delicious smell. So when you're drawing a picture, you can draw a smell like that in front of somebody's nose. So this might remind you of a book we read a few weeks ago called Bear Wants More. And it's the story of a bear waking up in the spring out of his hibernation, his winter long sleep, and being very, very hungry. And it's true, that's based on true stories about bears. Well, Bubba Braina took the last potato latke from the pan and put it in the oven with the others. Bubba Braina was 97 years old, and she did not hear or see as well as she used to, but she still made the best potato latkes in the village. Maybe you have a Bubba or a grandma who doesn't quite see or hear so well. Every year at Hanukkah time, all her friends came to her house on the edge of the forest. How they loved those latkes. Bubba Braina always made plenty, but tonight she made twice as many as usual. Tonight was special. Tonight the rabbi was coming. Bubba Braina hurried to get ready. She dusted, she swept, she got the menorah out, the special holiday menorah. Just then she heard a thump on the door. She opened it. Rabbi, you're here early. How nice to see you. Grumph, growled Old Bear. And happy Hanukkah to you, too. Please come in. Look at how inviting that house is at the late afternoon with the lights shining, and she's so glad to see the rabbi. Old Bear walked into the house. I'll take your coat, Rabbi. My, how thick it is. Bubba Braina tugged at Old Bear's fur. She can't see. Old Bear roared, growl. Oh, you want to keep your coat on? Well, that's all right. It is chilly in here. Old Bear's nose twitched. Rumph. Thank you, Rabbi. How kind of you to say that. The latkes will taste even better than they smell. Old Bear followed his nose to the oven. Roar! Rabbi, I'm surprised at you. You know we don't eat until we light the menorah. Grrr. That's all right. I know you were teasing. I'll light the candles. Will you say the blessing? Rumph. Bubba Braina struck a match and lit the shamus candle. Then she lit the one for the first night. Old Bear muttered and growled. Rumph. Grrr. Who has kept us alive, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this season, O Rabbi. You say the blessings so beautifully. Because she couldn't hear as well as couldn't see. Bubba Braina sat down at the table. Old Bear sat beside her. Let's play dreidel. We'll use these nuts. Old Bear cracked one with his teeth. Rabbi, you won't have any nuts for the game if you eat them. Roar, growled Old Bear. Don't worry, I have plenty of nuts if you need more. Bubba Braina spun the dreidel. It stopped on the letter Gimel. I win. Bubba Braina swept the nuts into her apron. Roar, growled Old Bear. Don't be angry, Rabbi. It's only a game. She tossed him a nut. Old Bear begged for more. No, Rabbi, no more nuts. It's time for dinner. Bubba Braina opened the oven door and took out a platter piled high with steaming potato latkes. Old Bear sniffed the latkes as she set them on the table. Smells good. Do you prefer sour cream or jam? Bubba Braina asked. Here she comes with the pile of them. Roar, Old Bear growled. Jam, I thought so. Bubba Braina smeared 5 big latkes with jam and stacked them on Old Bear's plate. Old Bear gobbled them down. Bubba Braina laughed. You should use a fork. You have jam all over your beard. She wet a towel and wiped Old Bear's face. I must tell you, Rabbi, you eat like a bear. Roar! I'm hungry like a bear, so I eat like one. I can see that, Bubba Braina said. Old Bear ate and ate until all the latkes were gone. He felt drowsy. His head flopped on Bubba Braina's lap. Rabbi, you're sleepy. Who wouldn't be sleepy after such a meal? All the latkes are gone. It's time to go home. But before you leave, I have a Hanukkah present for you. Bubba Braina took a red scarf from her knitting basket. She wrapped it around Old Bear's neck. I made it myself. Grrr! Old Bear licked Bubba Braina's face. Bubba Braina blushed. Oh, Rabbi, at my age. Old Bear shuffled to the door. Rumph, he growled as he walked off into the night. Good night to you too, Rabbi. Happy Hanukkah. And here he is walking off into the night. Bubba Braina was washing dishes when she heard another knock. I wonder who that is. Shalom, Bubba Braina. All her friends stood at the door, wishing her a happy Hanukkah. Shalom, everybody, Bubba Braina said. How nice to see you. I'm sorry I don't have any more latkes. The rabbi came by. He ate them all. Actually, here's the real rabbi. Looks kind of like a bear, doesn't he? Bubba Braina, don't you recognize me? It was the rabbi. The rabbi couldn't have eaten your latkes, everyone said. He's been with us in the synagogue. Bubba Braina rubbed her forehead. Something strange is happening, Rabbi. I think there is an imposter going around. He looks like you. He talks like you. He even has your beard. Just then the children cried, oh, look at the floor! Bear tracks! A bear. And I thought it was the rabbi. Bubba Braina had to sit down. Soon she began to giggle. That was a very clever bear, or a very foolish Bubba Braina. Ah, well, let the bear have a happy Hanukkah. I had a happy Hanukkah too, and so will you, dear friends. Bring some potatoes from the cellar. Fetch my grater and bowl. Everyone has to help. You too, Rabbi. If we all work together, we'll soon have latkes. Deep in the forest, Old Bear slumbered in his den. His stomach was full of potato latkes. The warm woolen scarf was wrapped snugly around his neck. Pleasant dreams, Old Bear, and happy Hanukkah. Doesn't that make you feel so good, that story? It's one of my favorites. and will remain so. I love books by Eric Kimmel. So anytime you like, you come into the library and you can ask us for any of his books. He writes a lot of the Anansi books, which maybe we'll read in the new year. How do you like that? Once we start up our story times again. Okay, so here is another good book. This one's called The Magic Dreidels. Oh my! Again, it's by Eric A. Kimmel. It's a Hanukkah story illustrated by Katya Krenina. Don't you love it when people make up new stories for us to enjoy? This is a great book. The Magic Dreidels. Look at that beautiful winter's night with the moon out. Hanukkah was coming. Everyone in Jacob's family worked hard, cleaning and scrubbing, polishing and sweeping to get ready. All right, so this is a paperback book, a little bit hard to open, but here is Mama sweeping the floor. That is everyone except Jacob. Jacob sat playing with his new brass dreidel. He was not helping to clean. Oh, here he is playing with the little dreidel. When his mother sent him to the well to fetch a bucket of water, Jacob took the dreidel with him. After filling the bucket, Jacob decided to give the dreidel a spin. The dreidel spun across the mossy stones and plopped into the well. My dreidel! I've lost my new brass dreidel, Jacob cried. Maybe I can get it back again. Maybe I can splash it out. He started dropping rocks into the water. Now, a goblin living at the bottom of the well was a peaceful goblin who never bothered anyone. Suddenly, rocks began falling on his head. I guess, would you be upset if rocks were falling on your head?
Yeah.
The goblin rushed to the surface. Who's dropping rocks on me? He shouted. I didn't mean to drop rocks on you. I just want my new brass dreidel back, Jacob replied. I'll find your dreidel, the goblin muttered. He dove under the water. Soon he reappeared, carrying a wooden dreidel. I can't find your dreidel. Take this one. It's magic. It spins out latkes, the goblin said. Jacob ran home to show everyone his magic dreidel. Along the way, he passed the house of Fruma Sarah, the neighborhood busybody. Why are you running so fast, Jacob? She asked. I have a new dreidel. It spins out latkes, Jacob told her. He spun the magic dreidel. Out came latkes, steaming hot, drenched with applesauce and sour cream. Here's one latke getting stuck on the goat's horn. That's a pretty magic. Wouldn't you love to have a dreidel that spun out latkes, complete with sour cream and jam? I sure would like it. Oh, look how muddy that dreidel is. Let me clean it for you. Fruma Sarah took the magic dreidel inside her house. She came back with an ordinary wooden dreidel. Jacob took the ordinary dreidel home. Where have you been? His mother asked. And where is the bucket of water I sent you to bring? This is more important than a bucket of water, Mother, Jacob explained. I dropped my new brass dreidel into the well. A goblin who lives at the bottom gave me another one. It spins out latkes with applesauce and sour cream. Jacob's mother refused to believe him. Watch, I'll show you, Jacob said. He spun the dreidel, but nothing happened. Just as I thought, said his mother. Go back to the well and stop wasting my time with foolishness. Jacob returned to the well. Goblin, he called. The goblin came rushing up. What's the matter now? Give back my brass dreidel. The wooden one you gave me is no good. That's a pretty interesting looking goblin. I don't have your old dreidel, but I'll give you this one. The goblin gave Jacob a silver dreidel. This dreidel is magic. It spins out Hanukkah gelt. Jacob ran home with the silver dreidel. He passed Fruma Sarah's house. Hello, Jacob. Did you find another dreidel? She asked. I did, Jacob said. This one spins out Hanukkah gelt. Watch. Jacob spun the magic dreidel and out came silver coins. Woo, look at that. Oh, but look how tarnished it is, Fruma Sarah said. Let me polish it for you. She took the magic dreidel inside and exchanged it for an ordinary one. Jacob took the ordinary dreidel and ran home. He was much too trusting. Look, everybody, this dreidel spins out Hanukkah gelt. Jacob's family gathered around to see. He spun the dreidel again and again, but not even a penny came out. Jacob, this is no time for foolishness, his father said. You should be ashamed of yourself. Can't you see how hard everyone is working, trying to get ready for Hanukkah? Yet here you are, spending your time playing tricks and getting in the way. He sent Jacob to his room. Poor Jacob. Nobody believed him. He had to prove he was telling the truth. When no one was looking, he climbed out the window and ran to the well. Goblin, come out, he called. The goblin came rushing up. What do you want now, Jacob? I want my good brass dreidel. The silver one you gave me didn't work either. Oh, the dreidels work, the goblin said. Fruma Sarah stole them and gave you ordinary dreidels in their place. So that's what happened, Jacob exclaimed. Goblin, help me get my dreidels back and I'll bother you no more. The goblin dove to the bottom of the well. He came up a few minutes later carrying an iron dreidel. Let Fruma Sarah spin this one. She will give back the ones she stole, the goblin said. All right, here's the goblin. Ooh, it's like a kind of a merman, fish goblin. I love it. It's so interesting. Jacob took the iron dreidel. On the way home, he stopped at Fruma Sarah's house. I have another dreidel, Jacob said. What does it do? Fruma Sarah asked. Why don't you come and try it? Fruma Sarah gave the dreidel a spin. Out came fleas, thousands of them. They hopped on Fruma Sarah and began to bite. Fruma Sarah scratched and itched. Oh, I'll give you back the dreidels I stole. Just make these fleas go away. And here's the funny looking fairy fleas coming out of that dreidel. Fruma Sarah returned the two dreidels she had hidden in her apron. Only then did the fleas hop away. Jacob took the magic dreidels and ran to the well. He threw in the iron dreidel. Thank you, Goblin, for helping me, he called. I'll keep the first two you gave me. You can have this one. I don't need it anymore. He turned around and ran all the way home. Jacob didn't mention the magic dreidels until the Hanukkah candles were lit. Then he took them out and spun them one after another. The first dreidel spun out potato latkes. Jacob and his family ate as much as they could hold. How fun is that? Oh my goodness, that is really magic. The second spun out Hanukkah Gelt. They stuffed their pockets with silver coins and invited the neighbors to share. The silver coins, foil covered chocolate. Everyone had a happy Hanukkah that night, even Fruma Sarah. And that's what it's about, sharing with people and being of goodwill. The Magic Dreidels by Eric Kimmel. You can you can find this in your library. Okay, let's see how much time. Oh, we have plenty of time for more stories. Here is a, a book called Light the Lights. It's a story about celebrating Hanukkah and Christmas by Margaret Morman. And I like this book because many of our friends, maybe even ourselves, celebrate Hanukkah and Christmas. I had a friend when I was growing up. Her name was Franny, and her family celebrated Hanukkah. And don't you know, every single night for 8 nights, she got a gift. And I think they put up a little Christmas tree, and her mother said that Hanukkah Claus came every night for 8 nights. I thought she was pretty lucky. 8 days of gifts. But they were pretty rich, so it happens. But a lot of people um, have, have the two celebrations. Why not? Like my father would say, the end, why not? It happened the same way every winter when the world grew cold and afternoons became dark long before dinner time. And that's what's happening to us. There's no leaves on the trees. There are just maybe a few brown leaves hanging around. But the good thing is you can see the birds and the squirrels on the trees when the leaves have gone. And it does get dark early. One morning, Emma's father raised the shades in her room and said, "Sweetheart, tonight's the first night of Hanukkah. Time to get out the menorah. Wake up, sleepyhead." Hey, look, she has a little Babar toy. You can find Babar books in the library. After breakfast, Emma helped him take the old silver menorah out of the cabinet in the dining room. They unwrapped it carefully, then polished it with soft cloth and pink cream until it gleamed. That evening at sundown, Emma's father sang the ancient blessing. Her mother steadied Emma's hand to help her pass the flame from the shamash candle to the first Hanukkah candle. Every night for a week and a day, they added another candle. Emma's father would say, "Let's light the lights," and the ceremony would begin. The menorah sat on a table by the living room window where all the people rushing home from work and all the neighbors up and down the street could catch a glimpse of it. Some nights Emma watched until the candles burned down to their holders. So here's a picture of their cityscape. There's Emma's window with Emma. People on the sidewalk. People in cars. Isn't it fun to look inside windows when the homes are lit up and it's dark outside? It's just so special. On the fourth night, Uncle Ken and Aunt Betsy came to Emma's house with her cousins, Sam and Kate. "There are strange lumps in my coat pockets," Uncle Ken complained. Emma and Sam reached in and pulled out pouches of Hanukkah Gelt. Peeling back the wrappers of the fat gold coins, they found sweet milk chocolate inside. Kate was too little to play dreidel, but she liked to watch Sam and Emma spin the top. When it was time for dinner, Kate tasted her first latkes, the crisp potato pancakes made especially for Hanukkah. Grandma Rose came to celebrate the eighth night. She and Emma danced together, hand in hand. O Hanukkah, light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, I'll give you a treat. Shiny tops to play with and pancakes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning so bright. One for each night they shed us sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed us sweet light to remind us of days long ago. At last all the candles were lighted. The full menorah looked so beautiful, reflected in the dark panes of the window. Then one day, Emma's mother pulled down boxes of Christmas ornaments from the top shelf of the closet. Well, Pumpkin, shall we pick out the Christmas tree this morning? She asked. Emma put on her jacket, boots, scarf, and mittens and went outside with her parents to search for the perfect tree. So they went to a Christmas tree lot. Last year, Emma had picked a short, fat, bushy one. This year, she chose a tall one with a branch at the top that was skinny and straight, just right for the ornament Emma liked best, the fragile glass star. The tree was heavy, so Emma helped her mother and father carry it home. They all said Merry Christmas to their neighbor, Anne. Her dog, Fluffy, was wearing a new red jacket. He opened his present early, Anne said. After lunch, Emma's friends, Natalia and Patrick, came over to help trim the tree. Emma's mother set out cups of hot chocolate and a tray of Christmas cookies. There were gingerbread men, sugar cookies shaped like trees and reindeer, and little white powdery balls with nuts inside. Oh, Russian tea cookies. My mother used to make those. Ooh. Wow. Christmas cookies. Emma's father played the piano and everyone sang Joy to the World. Emma knew the whole tune and most of the words by heart. When all of the decorations were out of their boxes and on the tree, Emma's mother said, "Let's light the lights." Every bough sparkled with silvery tinsel and shiny glass balls. On Christmas Eve, while Emma was sleeping in the dark house, Santa Claus came quietly and left presents under the tree. He also turned on the lights for Christmas morning. How did he know Emma would wake up before dawn? After the holidays, Emma helped wrap the Hanukkah menorah and the Christmas ornaments and put them away for next year. But she remembered the bright winter lights in the dark winter nights for a long, long time. The end. Isn't that beautiful? I love my stories. Do you love your stories? Okay, let's see what time we have. Oh, we have some time. We have time for a little bit more. So, this is from a book called Michael Haig's Treasury of Christmas Carols. And we're going to talk about jingle bells. So, if you have some bells, you can sing jingle bells. All right, so here's Missy Rabbit with a bell. So, in the old days, when it was snowing a lot and people didn't have cars, well, they had horses that drew wagons with wheels. But in the winter, when it snowed, they had to use sledges, or sleighs that had these runners on them, just like ice skates, and they could glide over the snow. Wheels just wouldn't cut it in the snow. And because it gets dark early, they put bells on the sleighs so that people could hear you coming through the woods or across the fields because they didn't have lights on their sleighs. Um, so let me think. So if you remember the Thanksgiving song, it goes over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through the bright and drifting snow. So this one is dashing through the snow in a one horse open sleigh. So it's one horse and the sleigh is open, there's no roof. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. So it's fun. You get in the sleigh and the bells are ringing and you're singing. So let's sing it. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. And there he is at Grandma's house. The end. All right. Ah, bells are fun, aren't they? Okay, our last book for today. Oh, goodness sakes, Miss Debbie, you've picked out another book by Eric Kimmel. Well, you can tell who my favorite author is. This is The Gingerbread Man, and it's a classic folk tale from the United States, I think. And it's retold by Eric Kimmel. So he's told it in a way that I like best because it moves along and it rhymes. And I love to tell this story. So I may tell it in January as well because gingerbread cookies are around all time of the year. The Gingerbread Man. And this book is illustrated by Megan Lloyd. Once upon a time, an old woman and an old man decided to make some gingerbread. First, they mixed up the dough, then they rolled it out on the table, and then they cut the dough into the shape of a gingerbread man. The old woman and the old man put the gingerbread man in the oven to bake, because that's where you put cookies. By the way, do you like gingerbread? I don't really. I don't like ginger, but that's just me. I will eat gingerbread if it has lots of icing on it. The gingerbread man baked for a good long time. When he was done, the old woman and the old man let him cool a little, and then they decorated him with two licorice eyes, a mouth made of icing, and three peppermint buttons down the front of his shirt. As soon as they put the last peppermint button on, up jumped the gingerbread man. And to their surprise, he leaped off the table and ran out the door. Come back, gingerbread man, come back, the old woman and the old man called as they ran after him. Would you be surprised if your cookie jumped off the table and ran away? Yes, because why? You want to eat him. Well, the gingerbread man ran faster. Oh, look at the old woman and the old man. He tripped and fell coming out the door. And there's the gingerbread man with a silly look on his face. I'll run and run as fast as I can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. Down the road ran the gingerbread man. He ran past the pigsty where the old sow lay. Slow down, gingerbread man. I want to talk to you, the old sow oinked. You think she wanted to talk? No, she wanted to eat him. and she started running after the gingerbread man. But the gingerbread man ran faster. I'll run and run as fast as I can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I ran from the woman, I ran from the man, and I'll run from you, see if I can. Down the road ran the gingerbread man. He ran past the doghouse. The dog wagged his tail. Slow down, gingerbread man. I want to talk to you. Think he wanted to talk? He wanted to eat. The dog barked, and he started running after the gingerbread man. But the gingerbread man ran faster. I'll run and run as fast as I can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I ran from the woman. I ran from the man. I'll run from you. See if I can. Down the road ran the gingerbread man. He ran past the pasture where the horse and the cow stood grazing. The horse neighed. The cow mooed. Slow down, gingerbread man. We want to talk to you. And they started running after the gingerbread man. But the gingerbread man ran faster. I'll run and run as fast as I can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I ran from the woman. I ran from the man. I'll run from you too, see if I can. Down the road ran the gingerbread man with the horse and the cow, the dog and the sow, the old woman and the old man running behind him. By the way, if you hadn't guessed it, a sow is an old lady pig. Ew, there's the gingerbread man way up ahead. The gingerbread man ran and ran until he came to the river, and there he stopped, wondering what to do. Hello, gingerbread man, a voice said. It was a fox. The gingerbread man cried, I'll run and run as fast as I can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I ran from the horse. I ran from the cow. I ran from the dog. I ran from the sow. I ran from the woman. I ran from the man. And I'll run from you too, see if I can. The fox chuckled. Why, gingerbread man, you don't have to run from me. I am your friend. I want to help you. Look at the fox's tongue hanging out. You think he wants to help? By the way, what happens to a cookie if you dunk it in milk? That's right, it crumbles up. That's why the gingerbread man needed help getting across the river. How can you help me? The gingerbread man asked the fox. Hop on my tail, the sly fox said. I will carry you across the river. You will be safe on the other side. The gingerbread man hopped on the fox's tail. The fox jumped in the river and started swimming across. Gingerbread man, the water is rising. Hop on my back so your feet don't get wet, the fox called out. The gingerbread man hopped on the fox's back. The fox swam on. After a while, the fox said, Gingerbread man, the water is still rising. Hop on my head so your feet don't get wet. The gingerbread man hopped on the fox's head. The fox swam on. After a while, the fox said again, Gingerbread man, the water is still rising. Hop on my snout so your feet don't get wet. The gingerbread man hopped on the fox's snout, but no sooner had he done that than the fox threw back his head and snapped up the gingerbread man in one bite. Delicious. But don't be sad, for that wasn't the end of the gingerbread man. The gingerbread man has gone away, but he'll be back another day. For gingerbread men return, it's said, when someone bakes some gingerbread. Maybe you'll be baking some gingerbread. So, thank you for visiting one of our holiday editions for bedtime story time. And I will see you after Hanukkah, and I will see you in the new year. So happy holidays to you and to me and to your family. Oh, so we have Hanukkah, Christmas, and Kwanzaa. So I like to say, Happy Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa. That's a fun thing. All right. Good night, everyone, and happy holidays.